Hi there, you're watching the Gardens and Graveyards channel. Today we are meeting outside the greenhouse because we are finally planting out our seedlings.
Planting day.
It's a really exciting day because we have more seedlings than we've ever had that we grew from seed back in January, most of them. And so a bunch of them are going out today. Not all of them, but a lot of them are going out today. And Spencer's going to do some while I do some fertilizing, and then we're going to get into like maybe some bigger projects later. So I'm going to turn around the camera and show you what we're going to get out today that I think we're going to get out today, that I'm planning on getting out today anyway.
The idea is she gets out today.
Yeah.
So
In the greenhouse, we have this mixed tray, but I grew a half a flat of the antique shades violas. We lost a few here and there. They got too close to the window and fried. You can see how this one did. But most of them look really great, and we even have one starting to bloom. So those are going to go out on our fence rail. We have some chocolate flowers somewhere. Find the tag. I think it's these. Let's see how close they are. How they look. Oh, whatever, yeah. So these are the chocolate flowers, and those are going to go out today in a raised bed. And then I'm hoping to get all of these hollyhocks in the ground out in the front yard. We have some echinacea that are going to go out into the medicine garden, and a few other things that are going in the medicine garden. I think there's going to be a safflower, the green twister, also echinacea. I don't know. I have a list that'll go into the medicine garden, and then the rest of these are going to go into a raised bed here. But we are going to be installing some irrigation, and we need to pull these beets, and of course the carrots are taking up a section right now, so it might be a little bit slower of a process putting the plants in the raised bed, just because of timing. But we'll get as far as we can today. There's some seedlings in here that are going to go out by the creek. There's seedlings that are going to go close up to the gazebo down in the mermaid garden area, and a few other miscellaneous places. I think the moon garden's getting several. Yeah, so we're gonna get as far as we can, you know, because clearly they're getting quite large and they're starting to bloom, some of them, and it's time to get them out of the greenhouse and into the garden.
So these violas are really packed in here. I'm going to try to see if I can thin them out a little bit. And then they're going to go in there and in there. And I'll let you see that when we get there. So the idea was to start with the more substantial seedlings and then plant the smaller ones around them, but I think there's too many of these to begin with. So we'll start with this and see what happens. We may need to find somewhere else to put the other ones.
These are in the Queen Anne lace family. They get like 3 feet tall, but only 12 inches wide. And they have a beautiful umbel-shaped flower that dries really nicely for cut flowers.
And they'll grow in the shade? They'll grow in the shade?
Yeah, they grow part shade to full sun.
Purse.
So, plant, there's 2 plants in that one. strong.
Her bench.
We've got gladiolas here in the front. They got pretty tall, like maybe 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
So planting these in the back, they should grow up over them. A zucchini and a saucer vine in this big container here. There's old soil on the bottom, fresh soil on top, plant tone to recharge it all, a little more potting soil. And they're already growing together. I don't know if I should separate them or not. Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're gonna grow together, they're gonna grow together, right? Alright, then we'll just top dress it with some compost. Alright, so then, this thing's already trying to climb.
Ten times bigger than they got last year. It's a greenhouse effect.
Alright, so in the butterfly garden, we're going to plant 2 different plants. I have a Proven Winners Carolee Petite Pink guara, and I'm not sure what the difference between the Proven Winners and the species guara is, but you know, they're great pollinator plants, so they're going to go in the pollinator garden. And then I have 2 containers filled with safflower, and this is a dark orange flower. I think there's only one kind of safflower. I don't know. Anyways, I grew these from seed. It says February 17th. That was my grandma's birthday. Really need to charge this soil.
Yeah. I don't think we've done anything to it since you installed it. I don't think we've done anything to it since you installed it.
Well, I think I put fertilizer in it when I plant stuff. I've been planting sedums though, and they don't want fertilizer. So,
Right.
careful. I know that looks a little bent, but it's straight here. It'll reach to the sun and straighten itself.
Reach for the sky.
Huh? little bit. Juicer. Probably have to keep this oregano off of it through the summer. It's a pretty aggressive oregano.
Is that an edible oregano, or is it ornamental, or make such a thing?
The bees love it so much, though.
Is it edible or is it just ornamental?
Huh?
Is it edible or just ornamental?
Oh yeah, it's edible. We just, I mean, how much oregano do you eat?
I know. I like oregano, but holy moly.
Alright. There we go. You got a home. Moss out of there.
Hey.
I think they'll be compatible together. These rocks. One. Right. There's multiple seedlings in here. The greenhouse is looking a little, well, not necessarily empty, but certainly like the plants can breathe a little bit more. Everything on this table is going out by the creek. Everything on that table is going up by, well, both these shelves are going to go by the gazebo. Almost all of this is going in the medicine garden. This is going in the creek. Some of this is going in the medicine garden. And, well, I guess there's like a handful, maybe like 5 or 6 plants that are going to be going in the raised bed. I'm still trying to make a decision about exactly what I'm doing with all this squash. We planted one today, so that's something. But we're getting closer, for sure. It was a really productive day. We planted 53 plants out, and I'm just gonna take a walk around the garden and show you where they all ended up. To begin with, Spencer planted out the Antique Shades violas in these pots. And this one opened all the way up in the sun. This is what they all kind of look like with the yellow and pink throat. And same with this. He told me he planted some in that triangle. I don't know where. And then I planted 5 more around these Bidens. Little teeny tiny ones. I don't know if they'll survive. But I thought I'd give them a fighting chance. Then right here we moved these pots, this collection of pots. I just moved them down, and we put this container up here and planted a zucchini and a cup and saucer vine, which is already, you know, climbing pretty well. And then behind it, in these raised beds, we planted the chocolate flower in the back. And in front of that is all gladiolas. And then cruising on down here, in the butterfly garden, we planted half a dozen safflowers and guava. And then I cleared some oregano away from that sedum and cleared it a little bit more around the guava so it has some room to breathe and grow. They're looking a little bit limp. I watered them all in really good. Just gonna give out a couple days. They might just be a little bit in shock. They're really tall and their roots were kind of shallow because of the small containers they were in. So I'm sure once they, you know, start growing their roots down in there, they'll be able to stand back up. I might even come out and prop them up or give them a little extra water in the morning if they don't look better. Let's go ahead and pop out front and see where those where more plants got put into the ground. So in the front yard, we planted larkspur and hollyhocks. So I planted 5 hollyhocks there, 5 hollyhocks there. There was one already come up naturally, and this one also came up from a hollyhock that was planted there last year. And then back here, I planted like 4 more, as well as a larkspur right there. And then down at the other end of this iris bed, we popped another larkspur down in there. And then down this way, we planted some more larkspur. I put one right there, and with the iris and vermillionaire and a couple of gladiolas. And then down here, I planted another one. We have 2 dahlias, larkspur, and late blooming red hot pokers or Nephofia. And then we have this patch of Virginia or pig squeak, and right now they look beautiful. Their flowers are just about done. They've been flowering for a couple of weeks, really pretty, fading. But as the sun gets higher in the sky, these plants start burning around the edges. This is winter damage, or like, you know, it's just last year's growth, but they'll start getting like burnt around the edges. So my hope is the larkspur is in here, right here, and right here, and these plants get 3 feet tall by 3 feet wide. So my hope is that they're gonna make a nice big canopy right there and shade those out, and then they'll die back and the Virginia will grow again in the fall and winter. Sometimes larkspur will hold over and they might come back next year, but most of the time they don't seem to survive the winters here. Just as a side note, my comfrey is all in bloom. I didn't even notice that this morning. So, okay, time to harvest the comfrey already. It's not even June. And my vermillionaire is in bloom already also. It's gonna be a really good year. We have so many things that are so far ahead. I don't think I've had this much planted in my garden before Memorial Day ever. So I'm really excited to see what 3 solid months of summer is gonna do in this garden. It's pretty exciting. My goal, I hope, is to get all of my seedlings out of the greenhouse by June 1st, and as well as anything that's not a shrub or a tree over in our holding space. I want that all in the ground by the 1st as well. So we'll be quite busy in the next week or so, and then we can just enjoy it. I hope you're celebrating your life, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.